Welcome to ATB-TV. I'm Darren Dance here with Peter Morganti at Forest Lodge in Ballarat on this beautiful day. And Pete, we're standing on Darren Weir's front lawn here, and I think any turf club in Australia would be impressed to be able to gallop on this.
Yeah, I reckon Lockie McKenzie might want to come over here from the course and have a look. It's cut down over your bowling green, Darren. It's absolutely well manicured. He obviously likes his lawns. Weary?
He must love his lawn and his trees and his garden. It's like an oasis here, isn't it?
We better hurry up, we might get kicked off.
Yeah, we're standing on the grass, we might flatten it.
The hallowed grasses of Wearies.
The hollowed turf. Well, Pete, let's go back through last week's runners. We go all the way back to, I think, Echuca last Friday, was it?
Yeah, we touched on Manor Trust running, and obviously he ran and he was disappointing again, Darren.
Yeah, look, he doesn't really try this horse, and I think he's probably on his way. Well, he's definitely on his way out with us. He's showed a lot early days, but this preparation he's just not putting in at all. Travels in his runs, and then he's just happy to follow him around. So we'll be saying goodbye to him shortly.
Yep. We went to Mooney Valley, and a horse that certainly ran really well and was probably unlucky was Edge of War, finished fourth. Touch of luck, he could have nearly won the race. Yeah,
well, look, that's always the case at the Valley, isn't it, Pete? I thought he ran super, got back out wide, hit the line strong, beaten less than a half length. 2 more bounds, he probably wins easily, and didn't really have a lot of luck in the run. But I think that's almost a career best run for that horse in that grade. And you know, gee, we've had him a long time. I think he's 7, and he's lightly raced, and he's always showed heaps. But you know, he's doing a good job, that horse. And for a horse that had a tendon before he ever raced, it's amazing that 4 years later he's still going around and in career best form.
And I think there's a similar type race coming up today week at the Valley.
Right.
So you would think now the 4th run in, he'd be right in that race with a bit of luck.
Well, you know, his whole history's been about when we thought he's right, he's put in a shocker.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So let's hope he bucks that trend, so to speak. Next day, well, you travelled to Queensland, had Red Handle, the filly, have her first start, and she was good.
Yeah, I went up to Doomben, met all the guys up there with Red Handle. A lot of them I hadn't met before, so it was a great day. Would have been better had we have won, but we did run second, and she showed plenty. And on the corner, I thought she was going to kick away and let down and win, but she got to the front and she just floated a bit.
Yeah.
And the horse that beat us sat behind us, and she'd had a couple of runs and she just went bang. But I think our horse will be improved by that, and she'll go around up there Saturday week. I think she's a promising filly.
Yep.
And yeah, we had a great day there, and there's a couple of owners up there that don't mind a sip, Pete. And I don't know what's going to happen if I'm there and that horse wins, because it was big enough when she got beat. But thankfully the main offender, he'll be driving the train when she runs next time. But I think his girlfriend's going to bring the girls out for the day in the fluoro yellow, so that might make headlines at Doomben.
Yeah. Hey Darren, as we're standing here, a little man coming in on a, no it's not, I thought it was Stevie Payne, the King of Moomba.
I just saw him going past on his yellow bike. King of Moomba.
King of Moomba.
Really?
Yes. Well,
really?
Do you call him King of Moomba? Michelle's queen, with brother and sister.
Doesn't sound right, does it?
Prince and princess.
But the royal family are all into bread, aren't they?
You're probably right there, but I'm not putting that on the page.
Really?
No, I'm not. You are. No, it was a feather in the cap to the two. It's fantastic. Just probably the youngest two in the family, and to be bestowed that honour, I reckon it's fantastic.
It's a great thing, and I'll tell you what, their marketing company have done a fantastic job marketing them. They're everywhere.
I did run into Stevie earlier, and I said, well done, and he just grinned. I think he could taste all the free tucker and all the free drinks, but no, good on him.
Maybe they should put him in that bird flying competition, you know, they go off the edge straight into the drink. Hey, with a couple of lead bags.
You reckon?
Michelle's got plenty of lead bags.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll leave that combo.
Righto.
Liz, she found a winner. Your wife, Liz, found a winner at Caulfield with Falago. We had 2 running, Abasso and Falago, but we'll...
Well, I tipped Falago and you tipped Abasso.
Gee, we better rerun last week's tape, I reckon. I didn't even tip Falago, but you did tip Abasso.
And I did say in the pre-race to the guys that I did favour Abasso over Falago, because I thought he needed the extra run.
Yep.
And I did say in the pre-race that every time I do that, something else happens, and there you go.
Geez, I don't know what I'm going to say about ticket to Toorak later. I tipped him.
Yes, well, you're just very consistent, really, Pete. Look, Abasso, what can you say? Shock and ride. Gave the horse no hope, no speed on. He sits back, drags it back. Disappointing that he refused to talk to the owners post-race. That was just unprofessional in my eyes. So look, we just got to forget that horse went round, and he'll run again early March. Falago, well, you know, he got knocked over in the Camperdown Cup, didn't have a hard run, then he went to Flemington, he was disappointing late, ran out of puff. Sometimes it happens with the horses trained at the beach. They can just be a little bit fatter than what you think inside, and you know, he went there and he jumped out of the ground, and you know, where he said he would change things up and just switch him right on and get him through the dunes, and it worked a treat. And just to win that race, sort of third up, is a real bonus for his prep. And he's been a really good horse, this horse. He was an 80 grand buy. He was with Chris Waller early. He hurt he had really bad feet up there, and he was shod really long, and they basically sent us an email and said he'd never race again, and I brought him home and we did a fair bit of work. Then he done a tendon, and then we rehabbed him down at Keysborough Equine with Richard Sims, who you know, done a fabulous job. And now he's gone on and won nearly $250,000. And he's a genuine contender when he's third, fourth, fifth up. And he's in again Saturday, and we'll talk about that again. And
I think he's won 3 here with Weir and 8-9 start. So, you know, fantastic. Really.
Going super.
Yep.
And just such a bonus for that horse to win third up. And I can't see why he can't do it again on Saturday.
And just touching on the ride, Harry Coffey, really heady little ride. He was taken on and just decided I'll take the sit after leading, and peeled out and got the job done.
Well, he's had about 10 rides for us, Pete. He's buggered about 9 of them up, but he got lucky.
1 out of 10.
He got lucky.
Rolling at 10%, Harry.
Don't wrap him up,
All
please.
Right. Sorry, Harry.
Please.
Righto, next day, Colac. We had 2 runners.
Well, you were there because I was at the Tattoo, and I'll talk about that in a minute. What happened to Colac? Silver Stratum probably should have won.
Well, definitely should have ran a clear second, and if you talk to the trainer, Weir, he said, well, if he got his momentum rolling the way he's been finishing his trials off, he might have got close to the winner. But I suppose the positive out of all that is he's ran well. He's a good horse, he can gallop, and a win's not far away. Yep. Maybe next week. Ticket to Toorak in the same day. Shocker. Things didn't really go well. He flew the gates, and from there it all went pear-shaped. He was drawn wide, charged to the lead, gone. G-O-N-E, gone in the straight. Home turn, he was out of tickets. Yep. Just no good, no good. Don't like to see horses ridden like that. Don't like to see horses finishing like that. Can't find nothing wrong with him. I reckon he's got one more chance. Yeah, it's one more chance, Matty. You've got to get him going, or he's on his bike. It's disappointing. Same day, White House Affair at Pakenham, finished 5th. Drew, barrier 1. The kid gave her a pretty good run, but she just got to the line fairly. She over-raced early, didn't she? A little bit early, but I mean, she was able to settle just off. Late. Look, she wasn't beaten that far. 3 lengths home. Look, we can win a race with her, and we can wave a goodbye, I reckon. He said maybe out to 1400 might be. I didn't think her run was too bad, actually. I thought she tried late. If she could just settle a bit better earlier, I think she'd be a better chance. And I think that was a fairly strong race. Yeah, yep. Next day, we took a little touring party to Ararat. Darren, we had 4 runners. We did have 4 runners at Ararat, and I was there in recovery mode after spending 105 minutes at the military Tattoo. And I could highly recommend it. I don't know who I could recommend it to, really, Pete. Ararat or the Tattoo. The Tattoo. Yeah, I don't think you can recommend it at all. Actually, I might just buy you a couple of tickets next year and let you suffer. Don't know who Beck will take. Yeah, you'll be going. Don't worry, I'll chain you to the chair. Yeah, right. Look, Ararat, we had a fun day. It was a great day. Big group of owners there all day, and the last race was at about 5:30. 5:30. Yeah, we left the course at 8:30, and we never had a winner. So I don't know what's going to happen when we do have a winner, but gee, they're good blokes up there at Ararat. Fantastic. We're sitting out on that new deck there. Lovely evening with probably half a dozen owners and the committee, and a couple of quiet frothies. And didn't get home to 10 o'clock. I was supposed to work in the office, and I went straight to bed. And like you said, we had a 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th all round about. Did we? We were still having frothies. All right, where did we start? We start with a Licorice Bullet was the first one, and she ran 3rd. First starter by Longrow, nice filly. Pretty impressed with her. She was green in the run, but gee, she hit the line strong when she saw daylight, and wow, she'll be extremely hard to beat next start if she runs like that. Very impressive. And she had a big blow. Yes, exactly. Was ridden by Harry. Our approach was the next. She kicked off over 1300. Obviously, we were thinking she'll get out trip. She worked home nicely the last 150. Yeah, well, she's a staying filly, which I think over 2000 will be her go 4th up. She was outstanding first up. She did a lot wrong in the run. When they jammed them up, she was over racing, and when she flattened out, gee, the last 200 metres was impressive the way she hit the line, and
probably 100 yards after the line, she's passed them all.
Yeah.
So, look, I don't know if she can win second up, Pete. She might dare out a bit, but I think third and fourth up will be her going. She's a promising filly. I've got a lot of time for her, and she looked magnificent in the yard, didn't she?
Yeah, and like you said, she's heading in the right direction. It was probably exactly what we wanted to see first up.
Yep.
We went to the starring race and Tig Tagley after about a month off. She, she was in front 5 hops after the pace, but when it counted, she just was a bit flat-footed on the home turn, but in essence, ran well.
I think if you watch the racing pattern for the day, if you're in the first 4 on the bend, you're in the placings. If you weren't, you struggled. Well, she was well back on the corner, and she really knuckled down. Like, she must have made up four lengths in the straight, and really attacked the line, and I think 1.5 more bounds with her big legs, she would have won, but she ran a strong second, and she's off the bend to go over 2400, and if she runs like that, I don't care what's in the race, she'll be hard to beat.
Big track 24, it just sounds ideal, doesn't it?
It does.
Yep. And our last runner for the day was Cullinan in the mile race, ridden by Dean Yandel. Just missed third, ran fourth. An okay run, but...
Look, I know the margin was probably 4 lengths, but I thought his run was okay. He was the only 3-year-old in that race taken on the older horses, and it's very hard for him at those sort of level weights for the younger horses to beat those old hardened geldings. But look, I thought his run was good. He's only had 4 runs in his life. Look, he's not far away from winning, and I think it looks like he needs 2,000, which is amazing because the mother, Flying Spermare, was a speed machine over 1,000, so work that one out. But gee, he looked good in the yard, and he's a beautiful horse, and I think he might have just been a little underdone there, and I think Weir will have him wound right up for his next start.
Yep. As my phone shuts down, Darren.
Have we had another run of Sense Cullinan?
We have. And do you know what it was?
No.
It was a winner.
Was it?
Typecast.
Really?
Yeah.
Canterbury.
Yes, great win.
Yeah, look.
She's flying.
The Snowdens have done a great job with this filly. Exceeding Excel filly, we paid 100,000 for at Easter. First prep, ran a couple of placings, or might have ran 1 placing, and just looked fair. And I was starting to worry about whether she was going to be any good, but Snowdens, to their credit, said she needed a spell and she'd be better, and now she's come out and had 2 starts this prep and gone bang bang. And even though she won at Wyong and come from an impossible spot, first up and hit the line, and they don't do that there, it's like Moonee Valley. And then he puts her in a race in town over 12.50, carrying, I think it was 58.5.
Yep.
Not a big filly, and she drew the outside, and once again, Blake Shin goes on, and we're wondering whether she's going to be able to carry the weight and from the gate and get the 12.50.
Well,
did she do it? She did it easy.
Never
looked in doubt. And at the 200, she's just gone to the front, and she's won by 2. And now they're sort of saying, well, let's win a city race and get some black type. Well, that's an amazing outcome, but that Snowden team, they're outstanding, and their horses run well, they travel well, they settle well, and they really do run to their form most times. I mean, a couple of times we've been disappointed with a couple of horses there, but gee, I tell you what, she's a filly that is going places.
Yeah, no,
one to follow.
Exactly, certainly. $7 looked good after the race.
Yeah, did you get any of it?
Yeah.
Too smart for that,
Too smart for that.
One of the owners up in Queensland said to me, I can't back it from 8 with 58.5 over 12.50. I said, that's good. You stay off, I'll get on.
So you got on?
Oh, I had a little bit. Enough to buy a jar of coffee.
That'll do. We've had one more runner since. He's a friggin' heartbreaking mongrel.
Your horse?
Sorry to the other owners.
I went to Pakenham for the last at 7:15, I think it was.
Yeah.
Got home at midnight.
Wait all day for it.
Did nothing. Jumped out, travelled 3 wide, no cover, but travelled easy, nice and relaxed, went for him, gave him 1 crack with the whip, he swished his tail, put his head a little bit in the side and found zip. As I said to someone yesterday, the way he's going, if he was a human being, he'd be on the dole, because he didn't try too hard. But they know apparently he didn't eat last night, and the vets have had a look at him this morning, and maybe he's just harbouring a little virus there. So just going to give him the benefit of the doubt for the next 24 hours until we get a report back from the vet, and just see whether he does have a little issue there or not. But if he comes up clear,
he's under the pump.
See that gate there?
It's shut.
That's where
it's open too.
That's where he'll be going, out the gate.
Yeah, I'll follow him.
All right?
Yeah.
You going with him?
Well, follow him out to make sure he goes out. You can shut the gate. No, look, it's disappointing because he's obviously shown us a bit over time.
Well, look, at the end of the day, if he's got a virus and he's crook, he's crook. But if he's 100% right, you can't have a horse running around that don't try, and we've got a couple of those that have got to go.
Yep. Let's move on to our runners.
Well, let's go forward. There's not a lot to talk about, Pete.
No, but you're going to go to Moonee Valley tonight, and we've got a little filly called Embroidery having her first start. She's drawn out in the car park, but Damien Lane on might weave some magic. But look, we probably couldn't find a race that really suited her, so Weir was keen to give her a start. And here we are at the Valley tonight.
Well, she showed a lot in the trials, and she's well bred by Denman. She's a half sister to Group Horse Paratroopers. She's having her first start tonight. The trials have been impressive. There's a few scratchings, so she comes in a few barriers. D Lane's a big plus. Moonee Valley, not sure. She's a running type. There's no 1,000-metre races anywhere because all the 2-year-old races at the moment are all geared around trying to get them to the diamond and the slipper, so they're all over 12, 1,300. So we're going to roll the dice.
Yep.
She'll probably go to the paddock tonight after whatever happens, unless you won by 8. Might be a bit hard. But look, we've had 4 first starters in the last week. They've all run well without winning, and I think I'll be saying the same thing next week.
Yeah.
But hopefully she can show a bit and she can run in the top 4.
Yep. Tomorrow, Falago, as we touched on one last week, and he backs up. And, this is probably the race last week we were thinking about was going to be his best chance to win, but
yeah, well, last week was a warm-up for tomorrow.
Yeah, so he should be a good thing, Darren.
Well, you'd think he might be, but he probably won't be.
No.
I think he's about $6 in the betting.
Yep.
So, you know, how he keeps the ride, whether he can ride him as well again, I don't know. That track's probably a little bit going to suit, not sure. Don't know how hard it's going to be.
No.
There's been no rain, so hopefully they'll put plenty of water on it.
Yep.
But over 2,000, you know, he's, what, 4th up. Should be his race, really. The favourite will be hard to beat. It's got good form, but I'm sure he'll run really well.
It's hard to see him not running well. We have a couple of days with not much happening, and then we actually trip over to South Australia to Strathalbyn, where Damien Batters will have already like her. Second run for the stable. Yeah,
well, the first up run, you just gave her a trial, essentially, paid trial, and you know she ran out of puff. But Jason Holder goes on at Strathalbyn, and you know she's a lot fitter now, and she's taken good improvement for that first up run, and I think she'll run really well there on that track. And as long as the track's not too firm, Pete, because she doesn't like it rock hard, and first up runner was on a rock hard track, so I'm sure she'll run really, really well, and I'm sure she'll run top 3.
Obviously we're at the stage where only nominations, and even nominations aren't even out for the Thursday Fridays, but stable are saying Silver Stratum and Shiny Lash could both head to Warrnambool.
Yeah, well, Silver Stratum off his first up run, wherever he goes, he's going to be exciting, and he's probably going to be nearly one of the favourites, and rightly so. Shiny Lass, well, she hasn't raced for a while because she's had she's had 1 foot abscess that seems to be taking a while to clear up. So it'll be touch and go, but we're not going to run until she's right. I know it's frustrating for the owners, but she was ready to win, wasn't she? She was ready to win. She should have won the last start. So if she's right and goes to Warrnambool, she'll chalk up another win.
2,000 metre race.
Just chalk up another win, Pete.
That'd be good.
Easy.
Might get a double, Darren. That'd be better.
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah, that's it that we know, and obviously.
I know we got other horses. Like a Bass Albion on the following Saturday, maybe, and there's a couple of others there that are due to pop up again.
And obviously the ones that have just run in the past week will be, you know, not far away. The likes of Tintagler and all those. Our approach, Himagee Joe.
Red Handle.
Yeah, or Himagee Joe and Dasher Maple are ready to go to the races.
Aren't they both going to Warrnambool, or one's going to Warrnambool?
Well, they weren't nominated, so it might be. There was Kyneton and Colac.
Yes, you might be right.
Yes, and
it just seems we're in a bit of a groove at the moment where we've got a big week and then we have a quiet week. So it'll even out.
As long as the big week turns out to be a big winning week. But we did have 2 winners.
No, we're going all right. Can't complain. And some young promising horses, Pete.
For sure. We've got Camberdown trials next week, so there'll be a few more pushing around.
Yeah, there'll be some trials there, and you know, the first lot of breakers have come home, and the second lot of breakers have gone in, and there's plenty of horses in pre-training, picking some up next week to bring up to Ballarat. So there's plenty going on. And there's plenty of horses around.
For sure.
So who's your one to follow this week? Are you going to put the knock on?
I like the old 7-day back up. I'm just thinking Falago can't miss a drum, and if he gets the favours, he can win again.
Well, you just back in. You bet one to follow for the place now, is it?
No, I just said he can't miss the place. So all right. I did. Falago will win tomorrow. How's that? Straight down the barrel, Darren.
Okay, well we're not going. I'm not going now.
Who's that? You're staying home?
Yeah, if you're tipping it, I'm not going because that's a waste of time. Be good if you won 2 in a row.
Be great.
It'd be good if you could actually tip your first winner for 2016.
Yeah, I'm not too sure whether I've chalked up one yet.
No.
Haven't.
In fact, someone texted me the other day and said, if Peter Morganic tips my racehorse, I want to sell my share.
Who was that? Was that me?
No, there was about 9 Texas.
9 Texas. Well, there wouldn't be the Silver Strata mob because I stayed away and he still ran well. He ran well, but
We noticed you don't tip your own horses.
no, I've learned.
Well, that's about all we've got for today. I'm going to take Pete out to lunch because he's pretty hungry and I'm just a good boss.
Yeah, and I'm famishing, as you can see.
Oh yeah, fading away. You're just fading away.
Fading away.
It's all that exercise, all that hard work.
Plenty of it.
Well, did I give one to follow?
No, you didn't. You sort of stumbled around that.
Did I?
Probably stole yours.
I'm pretty good.
What do you got? You must have something.
I'll tip,
There's not much to tip.
I'm going to tip Red Handle, Silver Stratum.
I won't have anything to tip next week.
I'm going to tip all those young horses that raced the other day.
Righto.
That I reckon, out of those 4,
how many will win?
I reckon I'm going to go out on a limb and say 3 out of those 4
3
are
out
going
of
to win
4?
their next start.
Jeez, I'm getting on the multi.
What's a multi?
That's consecutive winners, Darren. I don't dabble into that stuff.
I don't know anything about puns. I'm just a dumb farmer.
Righto.
Well, till next week.
Yep.
Any special requests?
No.
Maybe a new hat?
I do need a new hat, but I'm in the same boat as Craig Williams. He's got a rider winner and I've got a tipper winner, so it's a long way coming.
Yes, I agree. Till next week, Darren Dance here with Peter Morganti at the fabulous Forest Lodge